Hello guys, welcome back, and in this demo I'll walk you through the Niagaros Cloud Security Posture Manager platform, and specifically this time I'm going to focus on a cross-compliance heat map. So again, the platform automatically scans your AWS environment for security misconfigurations and then translates every finding into 12 different compliance frameworks instead of checking each framework one by one, and the heat map brings them all together into a single view. So let's look at our security dashboard again. So this is the main dashboard. At the top, you can see the overall security posture. So how many checks pass, how many fails, and the severity breakdown. On the left, under compliance, you can see the compliance tracking. So you can see every framework the platform supports, and every day we're getting more compliances. So we have now CIS benchmark, ISO 27001, NIST cybersecurity framework, GDPR, SOC 2, NIS2, NIST 853, and some more. Each of these is its own detailed page, but the real power is bringing them together. So let's open the heat map. So under the drop down of compliance, we can go to the heat map. Let me check. Oh yeah, needs to open. Okay, perfect. So this is the heat map we have right now. So let me explain how to read it. So each row is a security domain, a broad area of cloud security. We have access identity, which is about who can log and what they can do, cryptography and keys, which is about encryption, logging and monitoring, which is about visibility, and data and storage, which is about protecting the actual data. And each column is a compliance framework, and each cell is an intersection. So it answers one question: how well does this security domain score for this specific framework? So the colors tells you the compliance score. So greens means you're doing well, above 80%. Yellow and orange are in between. Red mean at risk. And as you can see, most checks are failing. The big advantage here is that you can compare across framework instantly. If a domain is red across many columns, that's not a small detail. It's a fundamental problem that affects everything at once. And if I hover, if I click on the percentage, you can get the percentage number instead of like only a color. And you can also if you hover, then you can see the percentage. Now the score alone doesn't tell you what to fix. So because almost everything can look bad at once, that's what this business impact filter solves. So we have different business impact filters, and they're basically saying, how critical is this area to the business if it goes wrong. So when I click to the HBI, so high business impact, I only see the two most critical domains: access identity and data storage. These are basically your crown jewels. If an attacker gets you into identity, they get everything, and the data and storage is the actual data you're protecting. And then we have the medium business impact. So it's very important, but it's a support and control. And we have the low business impact, and it's basically about logging and monitoring. Logging is basically a security camera. It doesn't stop a break by itself, it just helps you to see what happened, and so it's lower priority than the doors and the data. But by combining these two dimensions, you can get a real priority list. A cell that's a red and high business impact, that's where you start. Basically, it's very important to look there, and is the most important takeaway of this whole view. So next, we have the drop down of the frameworks. You can also focus on a single framework. Let me pick the FedRAMP, for example. So I'm now looking at one column, which is useful when you're preparing for a specific audit or something, and which you can also look at the percentage. And that's for the single compliance. And you can also search to jump straight to a specific domain, and you can search if you want. So let me get back to this one. So from the heat map, you can drill all the way down into individual framework. So what we already saw with the FedRAMP, you can basically see the domain for a single compliance, and if I click into control, I get a full detail, plain language, and description what the control requires, exactly which AWS resource are affected, the severity, and the concrete remediation steps which you actually need to fix it. So that's for it. And that's basically for the, I think my screen was a bit going past, but let's talk again. So this is the, from the heat map, you can go into the individual framework. FedRAMP is the US government cloud security standard based on NIST 853, and you can see the control families here. For example, access control, audit, accountability, cryptography, incident response, and for each control, whether it passes or fails and how many checks are behind it, and the score. So that is for the compliance page. What makes this very efficient is we only scan the AWS environment once, and that single scan produces a set of raw security findings, things like this S3 bucket is public, for example, or this IAM password policy is too weak, and each framework then has a mapper that translates those same findings into its own controls. So one S3 finding can affect FedRAMP, CSA, CCM, ISO, GDPR, and that's why adding a new framework does require a new scan, and that's why the heat map can compare them all so consistently. So that is basically for the heat map and the updated compliance dropdown. So to sum up, one automated AWS scan translates into 12 compliance frameworks brought together in a single heat map that combines compliance score with business impact, so you know exactly what to fix first. So thanks you for watching, and we're gonna make a new demo if there are any updates. Thank you very much.